So, when I look about this world, it's like a lot of people do. I'm sure, I'm certain. And they're displeased with it. I am as well, you know. It's like, how do you change it though? You know? You find yourself in a situation where you're like, if you can't change it, what can you do? How badly are you disgruntled and disenfranchised with the whole thing? That's another question. You have people who, they don't eat meat. You know? And there's a lot of reasons why they don't eat meat. So they will go clear out of their way. And people who don't have they don't have the bread like that. They don't have the means and the access to just snap their fingers and say, well, bring me this and bring me that. And someone will bring it to them with that is those exact specifications. And it's just that easy, you know? Like, bring me a bowl of M&Ms, a huge bowl of M&Ms. There's no green M&Ms in it. Just take all the green M&Ms out. You know, you'll find yourself, if you have that kind of a particular way about you, picking out a lot of fucking M&Ms if you want a fucking huge bowl of M&Ms and just eat without having to look through the damn thing. And you know, because you're going to be picking those M&Ms out your fucking self. Or you're going to have enough money or means to have someone pick the M&Ms out for you. Like you're some kind of a superstar or some shit diva. But you have people out here who are extreme on what they're about as far as how the world works. Like you have vegans. They're a whole nother level if we don't eat meat. We're vegetarian. Like I heard Till Swan say not too long ago in a video. I didn't know it was that serious for her, but she was like, yeah, you know, it's very difficult for her, she says, to go and find something to eat because she's concerned not only about whether or not it has meat or meat products in it or animal products in it. She's concerned about whether or not the plants that she's eating were cultivated in a way that were humane and that they weren't feeling this, that, and the other. Now, I kind of like laugh at that, right, a little bit. But who's to say this isn't the way it is? You know, just because, you know, you're out of the loop about something. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's just silly-ass shit. You know, a lot of things out here just sound silly to you. It sounds silly to me. But after you get a little more education about it, a little more awareness about it, a little more experience with it, or just see the results of what someone is talking about and going on about, it's not so silly anymore. Like Einstein with his theory of relativity. Even his colleagues at the time just didn't believe it was worth a shit until he convinced them and swayed them over to seeing, well, you've got something going on here. And then all of a sudden, because they confirmed it, now all of a sudden he gets credit for it. He gets credit for it being relative. We can still be going on to this day. Were it not for someone else confirming it and saying, okay, yeah, it's valid, about whether or not the theory of relativity is a theory or fucking this is no longer a theory anymore, you know? Anyway, having said that, that's kind of like where I'm at in this world. I just see so much of it that I just feel a very particular way about it, like a vegan feels about food in certain restaurants and things that they eat and put into their body and so on and so forth. You know, so it's like, you know, either get with the program, how it is for the majority of wherever it is that you're at. In America, the majority is we go to fast food, you know. I went to Kentucky Fried Chicken just yesterday. Got the $5 meal deal. 2 pieces of chicken, a biscuit, and a side. You know, that's where I'm at with that. But on some other stuff, I don't really care to partake too much. So here we have the government telling us, of all people, they even putting out a movie that they put a lot into, entitled Disclosure, about what's going on with certain sects of the universe, not the universe, or the universe, I guess, but certain sects of the world, like the government and those who are in on the loop. Once again, we're going on about people going on about whether it's humane or whatever it is to fucking eat certain plants if they weren't treated and cultivated in a way that didn't cause them pain, and laughing at it and scoffing at it, you know. But maybe there's something there. Now your government's telling you. They went through all the bother of putting out a movie. They're not going on about a movie like Star Trek. They're not going on about Star Wars anymore. They're saying, look, this is reality. We've been dealing with aliens for quite some time. This is reality. And they're transitioning us, it would seem, acclimating us, you know, incrementally into this awareness of aliens being a part of the planet and what's been going on with the planet and what's been going on with the government for quite some time now. Now, why is it that we seem to be such a sleeping herd, a sleeping bunch, that we can't actualize that? We can't, what do you call it? Many of us, we just can't, that the enlightenment of it all just doesn't come and get us and just pop our brains open and say, well, wow, you know, that's awesome, that's fantastic, that's surreal, that's other, right? That's so other. And then we just change automatically like that. What do we need to see? Do we need to see them on the television set? Do we need to see the UFO in the sky? Because they're telling us about it, and we're understanding it at a level that doesn't just necessarily get into the moral of our being and wakes us the fuck up and says, wow, damn, you know, goddamn, we got aliens going on. They're telling us we got aliens, and we're off on something other different shit that's a lot more profound than the everyday shit that we're going on about up until this point. You feel what I'm saying? Or are you still like, they're telling you got it, but you still don't really get it to the point where you're like, well, damn, you know? Now it changes everything for me. So at what point will it change everything for you? Like I said, perhaps when you see him on a television set shaking Donald Trump's hand and sitting down and having a conversation and having them walk you into their spacecraft or something like that and taking a tour of it. Will that change the whole world then? Because we're going to get another movie, Disclosure. Haven't we had plenty of movies? They've kind of jaded us to the whole idea of it in the beginning with, going on about all these movies about aliens and books about aliens. And the word alien has connotations as just, oh, yeah, alien, blah, poppycocks, dumb stuff, you know, silly shit, aliens. When you hear alien, you just kind of think, because all the associations that's gone on with the word ever since we've been hearing it. For many of us anyhow. The movies, the books, the sensationalism, you know, the saying that it's not reality, unrealistic. Well, what's the word they say? It's fiction. That, you know, it's not real for us. But it's very real. And I don't know about you. Fingers crossed that it turns out to be copacetic, because I'm hearing they've got those out there who don't really have the interest of human beings, planet Earth, at their best interest. They don't really give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about the planet Earth, they give a shit about the human beings. That's what I'm hearing. To what extent they care, I don't know. But I guess they have an investment, nonetheless. They want to get an investment going, I don't really know. But I hear there are those who are having a benevolent way about them, a benevolent concern, and they do care. And they do have a concern about it. And I don't know how much the Lord is involved in this, but I know that they're not just fucking with me. Because I've seen evidence myself, aside from the government in this movie they want to put out, Disclosure and everything they're talking about. I've seen the evidence myself that this is real. The tapestry, the dots, I've connected them. I see that it's real. So I hope that it works out and everything. But I'm at the point right now, without saying but, because I don't want to disregard what I just said, yet I'm at the point right now, I'm at the point right now that I just want to see major change on planet Earth in a major way. I've had it up to here with it. Like, can you imagine the psychology of a vegan who doesn't have the money to just snap their fingers and say, yeah, bring me a bowl of vegan M&Ms with no green M&Ms in it? How frustrated they can be navigating this world where every road you're going down is going on about Wendy's and Kentucky Fried Chicken and McDonald's and Hardee's and so on and so forth. Blah, 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 blah. You're going to the grocery store and you've got all this food that isn't really even food. You know, it's like a food product. They take food and make something out of it to the point where, you know, they can't eat it by the time they're done with it. But they serve it up and they present it and, you know, they sell it and everything else marketed as food. Can you imagine how frustrating that can be? Well, I understand you're frustrated with a lot of things in life as well. So hopefully, like I said, it works out for everyone. But in my understanding, what I'm hearing is just a matter of time before this world gets a parcel that will wake you up and help you understand that the world will change. To what extent it changes, how it changes, I really can't say. I'm hoping it changes for the better, whatever the better happens to be for everybody, because everyone's better isn't everyone's better. Some people's idea of better is some other people's idea of worse, and vice versa. Some people's idea of worse is idea of better. But I'm waiting on it. Like John Mayer saying, I'm waiting on the world to change. How much longer do we have to wait? I don't know, but I've waited 51 years. At some point in that 51 years, I started waiting. I wasn't waiting at the very beginning. So I guess we'll wait a little longer. We'll see what happens. What's the point, you may ask? I kind of mentioned it, but I'm going to reiterate it and sign off with the point. The point is, we are a being, many of us are a being that we just do not steer on certain things like you think you would. Like let's say the government on a planet, some other planet, says, look, we got some, and they're telling their people, or the beings of that planet, look, we've got something here called human beings, earthlings. They traveled, or however they did it, teleported, however they got here, they're over here on our planet right now. In our solar system, whatever the equivalent to a solar system has to be. And they're over here, and we've been dealing with them and so long, and so on and so forth. They're highly advanced, and so on and so forth. And how do y'all feel about that? And they're just going on about their daily humdrum, daily grind, thinking about it and talking about it as if it's not really that real. What kind of mentality is that? When Jesus spoke, and I'm not to be insulting, but he said, look, man, it's like a sheep herder and sheep. And even they have a Far Side comic where one of the sheep is standing up on hinds while the rest of them are grazing. He says, wait, we don't have to be just sheep. And their eyes are rolling as they're looking up like, what the fuck is this problem? Or hers. I don't know what gender the sheep was. But it serves a purpose. We're in some kind of inertia right here. I want that to fucking stop. I want it to end. I want something so profound to shake this world once and for all that it just changes in a night. And not Hiroshima to make that happen. The bombing in Hiroshima, when the whole world, I'm pretty sure, just fell silent when they heard the news. But it's something more positive than that. More constructive. What do you feel? Are you feeling awake yet? Because you might want to wake up before you have to wake up. That's what I've been doing. I've been listening to some of the stuff on YouTube, actually some of the channels where they, the channels over there where they channel with people. And they're telling me that a lot of us, the light workers and so forth, we're acclimated. We're ready for this whole thing, this whole transition. Because we've got something, nothing from nothing leaves nothing. We've got something that says, okay, we've girded ourselves with the understandings of this, that, and the other, and acclimated to this, that, and the other. And we've seen this, that, and the other. And we've lived our life in a certain way that we're ready for it. But if an alien spaceship came out of the fucking sky right now and just start hanging up right there, big old huge mothership the size of a fucking city, from here to there, I would be astounded. But I think I'd be a lot better prepared for that than many other people out here. So you may want to get your mind together. Like they used to say back in, was it the 90s, I believe it was, or 2000s? They had a song out, and get your mind right.